The lion with fiery eyes, ancient warrior spirit, guarding the sacred Savanna, African legend. Welcome, dear viewers, to Tales Labyrinth, your gateway to the world's most captivating legends and ancient mysteries. Today's journey takes us to the African Savanna in ancient times, where we uncover the legend of the lion with fiery eyes, a tale of supernatural guardianship, ancestral spirits, and the eternal struggle between honor and greed awaits you. Stay with us until the very end, for this story will reveal truths that transcend time itself. Let us begin. First, the sacred guardian awakens. Long before kingdoms rose across distant lands, the African savanna stretched endlessly beneath skies painted with ancestral spirits and timeless wisdom. Here lived tribes who understood the language of earth, wind, and the creatures sharing their sacred homeland with profound respect. Among these people, the Makena tribe dwelled in circular settlements of mud and thatch, their existence harmonized with seasonal rhythms. Their warriors wore leather wraps and beaded ornaments, carrying spears carved from ironwood trees that had witnessed centuries of history. The tribe revered a particular territory marked by a massive baobab tree, its trunk scarred by countless generations who carved prayers. This land held their ancestors' bones, making it more sacred than any material treasure could ever become for them. Chief Jabari, a man of 60 seasons with wisdom etched into his weathered face, led his people with justice and compassion. His gray hair was adorned with eagle feathers, and his voice carried the weight of ancestral knowledge passed through generations. The chief often spoke of Kondo, his grandfather's brother, a legendary warrior who defended the tribe against invaders 3 generations past. Kondo possessed unmatched courage, his name whispered with reverence around evening fires when elders shared stories of heroic deeds. During his final battle, Kondo stood alone against 20 raiders attempting to seize tribal lands for their greedy chieftain's expansion. Though his body fell pierced by countless spears, his spirit refused to abandon the land he had sworn to protect. The elders performed ancient rituals, their chants rising with smoke from sacred fires, binding Kondo's warrior soul to the land. His spirit would forever watch over their territory, taking a form both magnificent and terrible to those who threatened it. Second, the greedy strangers arrive. Seasons passed like leaves falling from ancient trees, and the Makena tribe prospered under their guardian spirit's invisible protection and blessings. Children grew strong, harvests abundant, and neighboring tribes respected their boundaries, knowing this land held powers beyond mortal understanding. But across distant regions, rumors spread of fertile lands rich with resources, untouched by mining or excessive harvesting practices. A ruthless warlord named Duma heard these whispers and desired to expand his growing empire of conquered territories and enslaved peoples. Duma commanded followers dressed in stolen armor, their faces marked with scars symbolizing cruelty rather than honor or tribal identity. They traveled in organized bands, pillaging villages and claiming resources through violence rather than trade or respectful negotiation methods. His scouts reported the Makena territory, abundant water sources, grazing lands perfect for livestock, and strategic location for controlling trade routes. Duma saw opportunity where the Makena saw sacred inheritance, his heart poisoned by insatiable greed and ambition beyond reasonable measure. The warlord dispatched an advance party led by his lieutenant, Zuberi, a man whose conscience had long since withered away. Zuberi wore a leopard skin cloak taken from a kill he never made, false prestige adorning his muscular frame and body. 20 warriors accompanied Zuberi, armed with iron-tipped spears, wooden shields reinforced with animal hide, and curved blades acquired through plunder. They approached Makena territory at dawn, their intentions as dark as the shadows they cast across the grassland. Chief Jabari received them outside the village, maintaining diplomatic protocol despite sensing danger emanating from these strangers like heat from fire. He offered water and hospitality, but Zuberi's eyes surveyed the land with calculating greed, dismissing courtesy with barely concealed contempt. Third, trials of fire and spirit. Zuberi delivered Duma's ultimatum: surrender the territory peacefully or face annihilation from an army that would arrive within 7 sunsets. The Makina people, though skilled hunters and capable defenders, numbered too few to withstand a warlord's organized military force. Chief Jabari refused immediately, his weathered hand gripping his ceremonial staff, carved with generations of tribal history and wisdom. No amount of threats could make him betray ancestors buried in this soil, their spirits woven into every grain of sand. The strangers departed with mocking laughter, promising destruction would rain upon the village like the fiercest storms of rainy season. Young Makena warriors wanted immediate retaliation, but Jabari counseled patience, trusting in powers the strangers neither understood nor respected fully. That evening, the tribe gathered at the ancient baobab, their voices rising in prayer to Kondo's spirit and ancestors long past. Women wore ceremonial wraps dyed with ochre and indigo, their bodies painted with protective symbols passed through maternal lineages unchanged. The village shaman, an elderly woman named Nia, entered a trance state, her body swaying to rhythms only she could hear. Her clouded eyes suddenly cleared with supernatural light, and she spoke in Kondo's voice, deep and resonant despite her frail form. The spirit promised protection, but warned the coming battle would test faith and courage beyond anything the current generation had faced. He required blood sacrifice, not of human life, but of 3 prized cattle representing the tribe's material wealth and prosperity. At dawn, the sacrificial ritual commenced beside the baobab, cattle blood soaking into earth that had absorbed generations of offerings. The ground trembled slightly, and distant thunder rolled across cloudless skies, nature itself acknowledging the covenant being renewed between spirit and tribe. Fourth, the ancient warrior's fury. 3 days later, Zuberi returned with 40 warriors, their numbers doubled and confidence swollen with anticipated victory over a seemingly defenseless people. They marched in formation, drums beating rhythms of conquest, spears gleaming under the merciless midday sun that bore witness. The Makina had evacuated women, children, and elders to caves known only to tribal members, hidden by generations of secrecy. Only warriors remained, 30 men standing ready to defend sacred ground with their lives if necessary, their faces painted with ancestral patterns. As Zuberi's force approached, an unnatural silence fell across the savannah, like a suffocating blanket of invisible weight and pressure. Birds ceased singing, insects stopped their buzzing, and even the wind held its breath in anticipation of supernatural intervention about to unfold. From behind the ancient baobab emerged a lion, unlike any creature the invaders had ever encountered or imagined in nightmares. Its size exceeded normal proportions, muscles rippling beneath golden fur that seemed to shimmer with otherworldly luminescence and divine power. But most terrifying were its eyes, blazing with actual flames that cast orange light across the ground like twin torches. These were not animal eyes, but windows into a warrior's soul, burning with righteous fury and eternal determination to protect his people. Zuberi's warriors froze, their courage evaporating like morning dew beneath that supernatural gaze that seemed to pierce their very souls. Some dropped weapons, others stumbled backward, but their lieutenant shouted orders, attempting to maintain control through fear of Duma's punishment. The spirit lion roared, and the sound was thunder incarnate, shaking the earth and shattering the invaders' remaining resolve completely. It was not merely animal fury, but the war cry of Kondo himself, amplified through supernatural power beyond mortal comprehension. Fifth, legacy of the eternal protector. The lion charged with impossible speed, its movements blurring between physical reality and spiritual manifestation that defied natural laws entirely. It struck the front ranks, and men flew through air like leaves before storms, their weapons useless against supernatural fury. Zuberi attempted to rally his warriors, throwing his own spear at the guardian creature with all his considerable strength and skill. The weapon passed through the lion's form as if striking smoke, then materialized again, falling harmlessly to the ground below. Panic spread through the invaders like wildfire through drought-stricken grasslands, their disciplined formation collapsing into chaos and desperate retreat attempts. The lion pursued, not to kill, but to terrify, its blazing eyes burning the memory of their transgression into survivors' minds. Those who fled carried tales of the fiery-eyed demon protecting Makena lands, stories that spread faster than Duma's armies could march. The warlord himself, hearing reports from traumatized survivors, abandoned all plans to claim that cursed territory forever after that day. Chief Jabari and his warriors stood witnessing the Guardian's power, their hearts swelling with gratitude toward the ancestor who sacrificed even death itself. When the threat dispersed completely, the lion returned to the baobab, its form gradually dissolving into golden mist and light. The tribe prospered for generations afterward, protected by the legend alone as much as the spirit's actual presence watching eternally. Neighboring peoples traded respectfully, and no army dared approach lands guarded by the lion whose eyes burned with ancestral fire. Seasons turned into years, years into centuries, but the legend never faded from memory or oral traditions passed to children gathered around fires. The ancient baobab still stands today, its roots drinking from earth where a warrior's eternal vigilance transformed into supernatural guardian protection forever. The legend of the lion with fiery eyes reminds us that true guardianship transcends death itself, and sacred bonds between people and land endure through all challenges. Through Tales Labyrinth, we preserve these powerful stories that connect us to ancestral wisdom and timeless values of honor, courage, and protection of what we hold sacred. If this journey moved you, please honor these ancient tales by liking this video, sharing your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribing to Tales Labyrinth for more epic legends from across time and cultures. Until our next adventure together, may the spirits of your ancestors guide your path with wisdom and strength.